Hide and Snake by Keith Baker. This is a story that's going to help you with visual, which means seeing, discrimination. Okay, ready or not, here I go. I'm looping through yarn. See if you can find the snake. And you'll realize that there are lots of other patterns on every page that confuse you, that look like the snake but aren't the snake. Curling round hats. There's his body, and you can tell for sure that you're correct because there's his face with his little eye. Wrapping round presents. This looks a lot like the snake, but when you get to the top, there's no eye, there's a bow. So I guess that's not the snake. Can you find the snake? Here again, it looks like a snake, but it's not. Here he is. See his body and his face. And napping with cats. See if you can find the snake before I point him out. I'm frosting the cakes. There he is. Ticking with clocks. I've read this book lots of times, and I think this is the most difficult page for finding the snake. He's inside the clock, and here's his little tail. Melting in ice cream. Here's his head, and there's his body. And sliding through socks. There he is. I'm playing with toys. Now the book is getting towards the end, and it's getting much more difficult. That looks like a snake's head. That looks a lot like a snake's body. So does this. Here he is. And that's not the snake, but this is. Twisting around vases. Here he is, with his face hiding behind the leaves. Weaving through baskets. And of course they camouflaged his little green face with the little green grapes, just to confuse you. And tangling with laces. Can you find the snake? Here he is. You really exercise your visual discrimination with this book. I'm hiding from you. In so many places. Uh-oh, I guess I thought that was a snake, but it seems not to be. Maybe this is. Let's see how much you can, let's see how far we have to go to find him. Still don't see the snake's head. Now, this is a long snake. Now, to find him, we have to go back to the beginning of the book. Hide and Snake. Now, if you look at the snake, you see that they've repeated parallel lines throughout. Some are straight, some, like the snake, are curvy, but each set of parallel lines has within it a different pattern. We're going to be doing much the same thing. Of course, I have newspaper because the first step of this project involves permanent ink, and I don't want to draw on the table. So what I'm going to do is draw my first set of parallel lines, and like I said, they can be straight or curved. Go right off the page so you don't get a white border. Right here, I always write my first name, my last name, and my class, my grade, and my teacher's initials. That's going to be my first snake. And then I can do more. Remember, you're starting off the page and ending off the page. Here, I think I'm making this one a little straighter, and this one really curvy, and I forgot to go off the page here. That doesn't look good. Better. Okay. If you want, you can put a head on one of them and make a snake. You don't have to, but you can if you want. And then what you're going to be thinking of is a different pattern for each one. With patterns, they require a shape with a predictable sequence. So if I decide to make only circles, I know what all my shapes are going to be. They're all going to be circles, kind of pattern. But you could also use circles and squares, and circles and squares, circles and squares. So now I said circle, square, circle, square, circle, square. You know what comes next because you could predict. I'm going to go all the way to the end of the page, repeating that pattern. And now I'm going to do a different pattern. Let's try to think of another geometric shape. We've used circles and squares, so I can think of triangles. And that's a right side up triangle, and that's an upside down triangle. So I can do that all the way across my paper. Now I can think of another one. I don't want to repeat the circles again, but I can do something different with them. And I can do rectangles, or I can do rectangles. Horizontal rectangles, vertical rectangles. When we're all finished, we can go back and fill in here with other patterns. And of course, then we're going to color. Let me show you what some other students have done. You can see that the more color you use, the nicer it is. And remember, they all have their name and their class, including the grade. This is very intricate. He didn't use only shapes. He used pictures in some of his shapes.